Hey folks, I am Kevin Iole, and my guest right now is Kelvin Gastelum, one of my favorite guys in the UFC to interview. Always have a good time chatting with Kelvin. He fights Robert Whittaker, the former middleweight champion, on Saturday over at Apex here in Las Vegas. You got your hands full with this one, Kelvin. Thanks for joining me. How do you see this fight going down? Robert Whittaker is a tough cookie, no doubt.
Yeah, man, Kevin, thanks for talking with me, chatting with me. Always have a good time, like you said, my man. And yeah, got my hands full. I got the number one guy in my division, which is kind of what I signed up for. This is what I wanted. And it's actually a matchup that I've been wanting for a long time, just because I know how exciting Rob is. I know how skilled he is. And it's just a matchup that I've wanted for a long time, even before he was champion.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a really fun matchup. And I asked him this, he said the fight, he can imagine the fight going a number of different ways. And I wonder, you would probably agree, you were wrestling heavy against Ian Heinisch last time out, but would you agree with him that this fight has the potential to be all sorts of different places?
100%. He's a very versatile fighter. He's a very well-rounded fighter. And I believe I am too. So we both have different weapons that we want to use and implement. And so, yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit of everything in this fight.
If I were to give him an edge over you in the fight, it's that he seems to be very consistent, and you are up and down. Your highs are really, really high, and your lows can be, you lose some fights that people don't think you're going to lose. How do you solve that? First of all, do you agree with that? And secondly, how do you solve that problem if you do?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. And that's kind of something that I've been trying to fix. Just add more consistency to my work, add more consistency to winning, and really, really prove that I'm still amongst the best middleweights in the world.
When you see Marvin Vettori, and he's kind of another one of those guys, right? He just, he's consistent. He's out there. He's always working to get better. Does he have, is there any impact that he has on you? I know you guys have worked together and whatnot. Is there any impact he's had on you when you get an eyeball on him and see him on a daily basis?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's a guy that is a workhorse. You always see him working, no matter if he's got a fight or not. I mean, he's just always working and grinding and training hard. And, that's inspiring. It's inspiring to me even, and it's cool to have him in the gym, pushing me, making me better, and we make each other better. And yeah, we've had some good training sessions, him and I, man.
They might be pay-per-view worthy, seeing those training sessions between the two of you going down, I would think, right?
Oh yeah. There's a couple clips online. You could probably check them out between him and I, and it's a banger.
As I look at the division, and I just got the UFC rankings up, Whittaker rated number 1, and you are ranked 8th, and Marvin's in there 3rd. I would imagine, given your situation, you probably don't want to fight him. But if you win this fight, you probably jump up, and that's going to be one of the fights that might be in the mix for you. Like, have you guys spoken about that? What would happen if the UFC offers you Vettori in your next time out?
Yeah, no, I mean, not in detail, but I mean, we know we're both in the same division. But I feel like if it's not for a title, then I'm not going to fight my own teammate.
So you're just kind of, hey, let's go somewhere else and go out there.
Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't fight my teammate just if it's not for a title, then I don't see no sense in it.
Not even if they say it's a contenders fight, the winner gets the title. I mean, not even in that regard, it wouldn't interest you. Only for a championship would be the stipulation you'd make.
I believe so. Yeah, if it was for the title, that'd be the only way.
Okay. When you look at Whittaker, he's been so consistent, as we said, over the years, in that regard, reminds me of Kamaru Usman, just reeling off wins and everything. What do you make of him, and what do you think you have to do well to negate, his strength?
Yeah, well, he's a guy that I've seen for a long time now, and I think I've studied his game quite a bit now and prepared for him back in 2019. So we kind of just went back to that. We went back to those same strategies. Obviously he's a much better and improved fighter, but overall the foundation of him is still kind of the same. And so we went back to those strategies. We went back and looked up at the videos that we were, we were training and looking at what we were doing at that time, preparing for him. And so when I took the fight, I was pretty confident, because I had prepared for him already.
Let's go back, a little bit to the Ian Heinisch fight, because there was a lot of pressure on you. You came into that fight on a 3-fight losing streak. Now, to me, I'm going to say, and I think you would probably agree with this. That's not your typical 3-fight losing streak. You lose one of the all-time great fights to Adesanya. You lose a split decision to Darren Till, and then the fight with Jack Hermanson. But still, you're on a 3-fight losing streak. What was your mindset going into that fight? And did you feel and did you fight like that was do or die that night?
I definitely felt that kind of pressure, but I believe I thrive under that pressure, and I do my best when I'm under that kind of pressure. And I just went in there. I fought a real methodical fight. It wasn't too risky. I didn't take too many high risks. Just real methodical, rule, just basics. I went back to my basics. I went back to my foundation, which was wrestling, and yeah, just needed to get the W. I just needed to get my hand raised and just feel that again. And went out there and executed so that could happen.
In the Mexican fight culture, they love warriors and guys that get out there and trade and bang. And you think of your fight with Adesanya, and that was kind of that fight. You two guys put on an incredible show. And I wonder, if maybe you bought into that a little bit too much, like I want to be the warrior. And maybe now as you get more mature into your fight career, have you had a change where you maybe start to look at it a little differently and say, just win, look good in the next one?
Absolutely. I feel like after the fight with Adesanya, like maybe I did feel that way a little bit. Actually, for my next couple of fights, I kind of had that mentality. And obviously it didn't work out in my favor. And so I really had to go back and really dig deep and really dig into my mind, into my psyche, to kind of change that mentality, because it wasn't working for me. And so that's what I did. I'm working with a mind coach at the moment, and he's been with me since the Ian Heinisch fight.
Oh, good.
And has really kind of changed my approach to the fighting a little bit, just because I just feel more focused, more lasered in, more locked in into what's in front of me. I feel like maybe in those other fights, I was eager to kind of get back on top. I was eager to get back that rematch, but obviously it didn't work out in my favor. Mentally, I just wasn't there.
There's a famous golf mental coach. His name is Dr. Bob Rotella. And one of his phrases was always stay in the present. Once you hit a shot, it's in the past. You can't worry about that. And you can't think about the next one. And I wonder if your coach has worked with you on that, because it seems to be like in fighting there, that's a thing. If you're thinking about mistakes you made before, you're thinking about how you want the outcome to be, it's not going to get you the outcome you want. So is that something that you try to, you guys work on together about just keeping yourself focused on the task at hand and nothing before and nothing after?
1000%. Yes, we have a saying, is just all in every second, all in every hour, all in every session, every minute, just staying present. And that was a big game changer for me, was just staying more present, more aware of what's in front of me, rather than thinking of what could happen with a win, what could happen with a lose, just thinking of other variables that don't really matter until the fight is over.
Right. And that's an interesting thing. The modern athlete now, you look and Kevin Holland last week picked up a sports psychologist he talked about, and you're doing it, and so all of a sudden you guys are getting a lot of different tools at your disposal. As I guess as the salaries rise, you can afford to do those things. Do you think that makes the quality of the sport better? Because guys have some people choose to get a mental coach, other people choose different things. But now when you're making more money, you guys can maybe do some separate things to differentiate yourself from the pack in terms of preparation and coaching.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Now we have a little bit more resources to be able to go out and find people to help you out. And I think that was a big, I think that was a big game changer for me. It was like, I never even thought in my life I'd be acquiring the help of a mental coach. Like, I felt like I was pretty mentally locked in, but But no, man, things happen, and I feel like a lot of us maybe even need a mind coach or a therapist to kind of help you throughout your days.
I think with you, Kelvin, one thing that some people forget, you've been around a long time. You're not even 30 years old yet, right? And everything that you've accomplished in your career, you're 16-6, you've beaten a lot of, really good fighters. You've been out there. So it's like, do you feel like the best is yet to come from you? Like, as much as we've seen, do you feel like we're still going to see more?
Oh yeah, 100%, Kevin. I mean, I feel I've only shown maybe even 50% of my potential,
Really?
and now that I'm, much more older and a little bit more mature, a little bit smarter, I feel like the best days are ahead of me still.
Don't you dare ever say older when you're 29 years old. Oh, to be 29.
A little bit more mature, a little bit more mature.
Yeah, let's go that way.
I mean, I'm
I
not
know
that.
mature.
I'm not that. I'm not 21 years old. I'm not that 21-year-old kid anymore. I'm about to be 30 in October, and like it's just crazy, kind of seeing that change in me, that change in my career. I feel like I'm starting my career over again. I feel like I got a fresh start. And I'm gonna make the most out of it. Now all that packed with all the experience, all the good, the bad, the ups and downs, the fights that I've had. Man, I'm excited for the future.
That is awesome. Let's wrap it here, Kelvin. How do you see the fight going down? Do you finish Robert? He's a difficult guy. Adesanya finished him. He's a difficult guy to finish. Do you think you finish him, or how do you see it going?
You know what? I don't know how it's going to go out. I just know that we're going to go out there. We're going to lay our hearts out in that canvas, and it's going to be a fun night. It's going to be a fun night for fight fans.
Awesome. That is Kelvin Gastelum on Saturday on ESPN. You can catch him against former middleweight champion Robert Whittaker at Apex, live here in Las Vegas. Kelvin, best of luck, my man. Always good to see you.
Appreciate it. Likewise, brother.
See you.